Hey, welcome back. This is LuminousStress, where we're always stressed out. We are fishing on the dock here in the rain, in the dark, because I am trying to get a Nautilus shell. I am one short from being able to make a conduit, which we will use to put in the bottom of this little lake, and then do some terraforming. No matter how good of a helmet you have, you just can't stay under the water and definitely have to keep coming back up. So a Nautilus shell will allow us to have infinite underwater breathing and make that terraforming job a lot easier as we get to where we start working on this area more. But in the meantime, I'm going to be here fishing. After we get that, I plan on heading over to the desert where we built the mine. And we're going to add a super smelter to the area. I need to be able to smelt larger quantities of items, and it's just easier if you have a machine that can load and unload everything for you versus having a bunch of furnaces where you're doing everything manually. So that is on the docket for today. And we also have a need on the server for more villagers. So I told the guys that I would build a breeder, and we're going to do that near the library. When I did the library previously, I just bred villagers in a couple of the houses, and that took a while, but it suited my needs. But now that we have a need to get more villagers, and we'll probably be moving them throughout the map a little bit, it makes sense to build a dedicated breeder. So my plan is to build a house, put a farm around it, put a fence around that so they can't escape. We can put too many beds in there. They will just, keep breeding more and more villagers as we pull them out. As long as we leave 2 in there, over time they will continue to breed more. So that's the plan for this episode, and in the meantime I think we're gonna stand here and just keep fishing. Finally, there it is. Okay, so it's dark. Let's go inside, and first thing we'll do is reset the day. But man, that makes me happy. So we can go in here and we can get rid of some of this. Okay, now that we got our inventory cleaned up a little bit, we can go back in here, get our last of our Nautilus shells. We will grab 1 heart of the sea, jump over here, and boom, we have a conduit. Now down here in this shell, or this shulker box, I've got plenty of prismarine. I think you can make it out of the dark, but I've got way more prismarine. Let's just use regular prismarine. And I'm gonna have to put some armor on so that I can breathe underwater for a minute. And let's go down here into one of these darker spot or deeper spots. I think this will work. Good, I have some torches. Let's get some light. Okay, and we have conduit power, so let's finish building this before that guy keeps causing us headache. And apparently there is a ton of those guys that are going to be causing us headache. Okay, and just like that, we can be underwater and breathe and not have to worry about what kind of gear we have on. So as you can see, there's a lot of stone, gravel, and other items that are visible. So we're going to have to go on an expedition at some point and get a lot of dirt, because the plan is to convert a lot of this to not only dirt, but then mud. And it's just a project that I'm going to do off camera mostly when I have time. not something that is a huge priority, but you know, it was on the list of things to do today, and it is done. So I'm going to clean up my inventory a little bit more, and then we will head off to the desert. Okay, after I clear this area out, we're going to start building the super smelter, and I build all the redstone first so that I could time lapse it like this. If I built the building first and then went inside, it'd be a lot more difficult. But you're going to notice I build 2 loaders and 1 minecart unloader, and these are based on designs by Crispy Craft for the Minecraft loader and by Tinker77 for the unloader. They're not anything that I invented. Just want to make sure I give credit there. They're really cool. They allow you to obviously load a minecart and to a certain level, and then when you're ready, unload a minecart as well. So this allows my circular system to work better. As a minecart comes in, it pauses, gets completely loaded, or about halfway is what I have it set for. And then on the back end, when the items are being unloaded from the smelters, that minecart will pause and completely unload into a chest as well. So it allows the system to be a lot more efficient. But yeah, I just wanted to make sure I gave both of those guys credit. Check out their YouTube pages if you'd like to. Neither one of these designs are massively complicated, but not having to figure it out by myself and being able to use somebody else's design really did help me put this build together quicker. All right, as you can tell, our breeder area is complete. I've got tons of wheat growing around here. I need to, there's one of my farmers. And there's a couple more. So I only put 2 villagers in here, and I've already got a 3rd one. And it's already grown up. So, you know, I built both projects before I came back over here to record this. So it's been running for a little bit. And I need to get some emeralds and do some trading with them. But I've also been working on this beautification around town, trying to get more greenery, so it doesn't look quite so deserty. I know it's a desert village, but you know, it's a town, so it's been converted, right? So I added a little more water. That water will go away. That was just an infinite block that I needed to create. But you'll see over here, we've got some more bushes around the different features. I added water underneath this roof just as like a collection system. And I tried to add just all these are is pots, flower pots with a cactus in them, and then azalea leaves on top, and just trying to add some color into our village, similar to what we did around the library. And then I've also started adding on the edges some of the new dead brush, basically. And we need to do a whole lot more of that around the edges of town. And so, yeah, that's on my list. And that's something that I will continue to work on. Again, we want to make this look like it's a live-in village. This guy, maybe he doesn't take care of his place as much, so he still has some dead brush. But most of our villagers, they're very happy with the village. They're trying to make it look beautiful. With this breeder, as I continue to get more villagers, the plans are to let some of them roam free, and then we'll move some of them to other parts on the map, probably with boats, now that you can hook a lead up to them and pull them uphill and even fly if you're risky enough. It's become a much easier way to move villagers around. Now, back here on the other side, as you already saw in the time lapse, we have the super smelter, and it matches, of course, our storage facility here. Although I indented the entrance here and out here, it is outdented a little bit, built on the outside, I guess. One thing I wanted to comment on, it's a little dark in here. I'm going to have to add more light. I know that. But I put these water elevators, bubble elevators, in thinking, hey, you know, I could just drop what I want to smelt in one chest, and I can drop fuel in the other chest, and all will be well. And probably once I get a certain level of fuel into the hoppers, the fuel side will work. It doesn't really work well for the smelting side. And the reason why is the way that these loaders work is once this chest is empty, it automatically sends the minecart out. So when you're using a bubble elevator to send items over here and fill this chest up, what happens is the minecart comes in there and it pulls like 10 items out, and now the chest is empty because the bubble elevator and the dropper that is loading the bubble elevator runs a lot slower, and I wasn't getting fuel all the way around. It was just unloading on like the first 2 or 3 furnaces. So yeah, what I ended up doing was manually putting a bunch of fuel in here, and now all the furnaces all the way around have about 40 in them. And if I stand in the perfect spot, which is maybe right here, nope, I can get this chest to open. There you go. I had to jump, and I can load things that way. So I'm probably going to take the bubble elevator out, is my point, and put a ladder or something up there to better access that. This, of course, is where it is dumping all of the items as it offloads them. I haven't smelted anything recently. So, well, I did, but what I smelted was wood into charcoal, and then we moved all the charcoal over. So, yeah, I put the bubble elevators in thinking it would add to the industrial feel, and that design feature ended up being a design flaw. So, if I leave them, it'll be for aesthetics. I don't think I'm going to be using them much. Just thought I would point that out. But I am happy with the build otherwise. Again, it's a little dark. We can fix that. But I like the look. I always wanted, the reason I did this, in case you're wondering, I always thought, you know, if you could have a circular system, it would be more efficient. The problem with the straight lines or the L shapes or the U shapes that a lot of people make with these is it feels to me like you get a lot more loaded on the ends, and the middle just doesn't seem to load as well. Maybe that's just me. But the minecart spends more time on the ends than it does in the middle. And so I wanted to try this out. We'll see how it works. And if you guys are curious, leave me a comment and I'll try to figure out what the returns are and get back to you on that. The next thing we need to work on is probably going to be this hideous iron shaft that I built. I'd like to switch this out to blackstone, so I have some plans for that. Nothing too fancy, But I'll be working on that hopefully soonish. And yeah, we're going to clean up this farm over here. I don't think I need it as much now, especially since we're doing more in town. And I know this is a desert village, but I think long term, going to free cam here, I think long term, one of the things I'd like to do is continue to green it up. So I want to put some more farm area in, and we might just let the villagers that are wandering around town take care of that. I won't necessarily fence it like I did over there. I also want to put a different church in. Right now we have this tower basically, and there's a cleric in there. I'm thinking about building a church over here in this whole area. And yeah, let me know in the comments if you have any other ideas for builds to put in here. So yeah, one of the things I'm thinking about putting in here is another bigger build. I'm not sure where it would go exactly, but yeah, if you have any ideas, let me know in the comments. Otherwise, I think we're going to shift our focus back to the lake. We've got that conduit in the water now, so I can work on the terraforming there that I want to do. Again, that's going to take a long time, and we will do it slowly as we work on other things. But what I've always envisioned for this lake is a bunch of builds that just kind of surround it and make it a lakefront property. Or a lakefront village where, yeah, you can walk around the edges, but mostly you would use boats and things to get between all the different houses. And I want to go with like a Scandinavian theme. I want to use a lot of different colors. We started with this pink and pale over here, and the pale oak has that pinkish hue to it. So that worked out really good, and one of the other people on the server has taken over. This bush is causing me problems. Has taken over that space, and so that is great. But we need to pack some more in here, so probably spend some time in a creative copy of this world, trying to figure out exactly what that's going to look like. We'll get rid of all these trees that we've been farming, and that'll be what we do in our next episode. So yeah, comment if you have any ideas of what you think I should build here. In the short term, it might be a bunch of facades, and we figure out what to put inside of them later. But that's kind of the direction that I'm going with the lake. And until then, we will see you next time. Goodbye.